Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ATR's War, Bedlam Media's premier wrestling podcast covering AEW to WWE. I am Sam, the SLB, fearless leader of Bedlam Media, co-host of ATR's War, ATR Rising Sun, as well as, haven't done that show in a while. Alongside me today is the man behind X, Wrestling's Nostradamus, Scott.
We're back after a doubleheader last night. 2 Bedlam Pick'em shows, and we have a 2-way tie for first place. But Scott, it's been three shows. How the hell do we have a tie? Don't worry. In the words of Trick Williams, let's talk about it.
That's right. As well as the third man, the man in black, the main recipient and beneficiary of the Clone Ethan 2026 campaign, my co-host from ATR Rising Sun and the current Bedlam Media champion, Ethan.
Hi, it's me. Yes, like Scott, it's a doubleheader, and yes, there was 3 shows, but we don't count the SME shows because after commercial, after commercial, after commercial.
Commercial after commercial after commercial.
I saw a stat that there was like an hour and 12 minutes of commercials during Saturday night's main event.
Oh, is that the wait time Twitter account?
Yeah. Because for those of you who watch it on Peacock, you get the commercial breaks as well as what's on NBC. But yeah, Sam and I were joking about that too on the show. It's just like we're on commercial 8,764. So I mean that's outrageous. I get it. Like you need to have commercials, but Christ,
wait a minute.
Just put the things on the mat then. If it cuts down on the commercial breaks, I don't care. Holy shit, guys!
I was watching on YouTube yesterday, and literally because on YouTube when they go to it's like commercial break in process, like wait, it'll come back.
Yeah.
I was for the tag match and get 2 minutes of wrestling commercial. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck off with the commercial.
I'm just waiting for them to no longer book the shows matches, and they're just gonna announce the commercial.
Saturday night's commercial break.
Yeah, announce the commercial. Yeah.
on this commercial,
3 dude wipes commercials. Nice,
right? But we're 2 minutes in. We're already tangenting. So Sam, let's get us back on course.
Yeah, guys. Before we begin, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. I just broke 100.
Yeah.
As of NXT Battleground. Full transparency, as we like to say in the professional corporate world. We're going to start with Double or Nothing because obviously I was at Battleground. I have not watched Double or Nothing yet. I will watch it a little later on in the week. Scott will get to it at some point. Don't know when. Now,
6 months from now, probably.
6 months from now.
When I catch up with AEW.
So we're gonna go through the card. From my understanding, again, we've watched Battleground, but from my understanding, from what I've seen, there was the Double or Nothing was a pretty solid show. Everyone was saying it was really good. Everyone's like, oh yeah, see, Tony's the best booker. We're not going to jump the we could have this conversation back and forth all day. I don't really want to have this discussion. All I know is the show was really good. Battleground was incredible as well. We will talk about that. But guys, we're kind of curious. Let us know what you think down below from both shows. But Ethan, we're going to just quickly run through the 30 matches, 5-day extravaganza known as Double or Nothing. Just let us know the results and give us the Ethan picks.
Okay. So we have 1 do not count match, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
So the pre-show match was AJ Hart Cameron defeat Mega Bang pin out before a total of 35 seconds. Yeah, 6 out of 10. The only do not count match we had 8-man tag. We had Ring of World Champion Dito, Air Fox, Khmer, and Hologram because Tony Khan's a big hologram guy. Defeating Crew and Roppongi fights at 13 minutes and 18 seconds. Really fun, 6 out of 10 as well. So main show starts with the finals of the Women's Own Her Cup tournament. Where everybody knows, then their mother knows that Mercedes Moné was winning. Why Jimmy Hater. 21 minutes and 17 seconds. Ethan pick 8 out of 10. This next match, tag match, FTR Cash for Dax Howard defeat Diego Garcia and Nigel McGuinness at 23 minutes and 31 seconds. Did not need to go 23 minutes, but I enjoyed it. 7 out of 10. I like one part of the match. Nigel goes with Tony Schiavone. He has Cash wear like an armbar like this. He's like, "Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry, Mr. Schiavone." But I thought that was funny. And Schiavone's like, "I still can't." Taz like, "He said sorry. Forgive him already." Stretcher match. Ricochet defeat Mark Briscoe 16 minutes 11 seconds. Really fun match, 7 out of 10. Ricochet's best on AEW, hot take. For the World Title match, Hurt Syndicate's Bobby Lashley Benjamin defeating Sons of Texas. Guess why not? 12 minutes 38 seconds. 5 out of 10. Kano Tao, second Ethan Big spoiler. Kazuchika Okada defeat Mike Bailey 16 minutes and 2 seconds. For the women's title, Tony Storm defeat Mia Shirkoff 15 minutes 52 seconds. 7 out of 10. And she will face Monet at All In. That's a 3 o'clock start time, by the way. Eastern.
All right. Okay.
So 4 o'clock my time. This is the best. This might be controversial, but the best Anarchy in Arena matches 2022. International Jim Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, the Trios champions, the Ops, and Will Nightingale defeating Death Riders and Young Bucks at 35 minutes and 19 seconds. We heard a lot of songs from Raining Man, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. Will Nightingale getting all hardcore, which was great. Honestly, the ladies kicked ass in this, honestly.
Nice.
I'm gonna be honest. 9 out of 10, Ethan pick. The dead spot right before the main event. Don Callis family of Kyle Fletcher, the Cash and Josh Alexander defeat Paragon of Adam Cole, Colorado Rush on 12 minutes 48 seconds. 7 out of 10. And the main event, the Menzo and Hart Cup tournament finals. The Cowboy were supreme as Heyman and Page defeat Will Ospreay at 36 minutes and 59 seconds. Sam was kicking her ass, and like the Maple Leafs, he blew the 8-0 lead. So
8-0. I was sitting there, and I'm like, man, I could win. I gotta wake up, and all of a sudden, you must have gone to bed, Ethan, because I'm just like, what? Wait a minute.
It just kind of stopped. Like, we don't know what happened. I thought about that too when I woke up this morning. I'm like, oh, Ethan never put in who won Double or Nothing.
I did fall asleep because I was watching, and then I was like, I gotta go to bed, and my phone was about to die. So Sam was winning until, like I said, the Maple Leaf, like he pulled the Maple Leafs boys, he blew it. Thanks to Paragon and Will Ospreay fucking him over.
I'll say this. I think it's quite impressive that I made that card that far.
Yeah.
What was that? 8-2 was the final.
So
Yeah.
I went 9-1.
Yeah.
Scott went 9-8-7 basically.
Yeah.
I went 9-1. Sam went 8-2, and Scott went 7-3.
Yep.
So I won double or nothing there.
I'll take that streak, though.
That's pretty good though. That was like me and Scott. I was like, oh look, clean sweep. And then like the last 2 matches, I'm like,
Yep.
God damn it.
Yep.
Or the last match in our case. But double or nothing is really enjoyable. Like I said, the both Owen Hart Cup Tournament Finals, Anarchy in the Arena, and the College are the ones I recommend watching. Honestly, you can watch the pre-show as honorable mentions.
That's high. That's high for coming from you. Because normally pre-shows you just like don't bother. That's pretty good.
No, I remember the one last year we had Penta in there. Remember? And
That's true.
My once a year pre-show picks.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I did see part of the media scrum, I guess, and we're going to use this to segue into the NXT Battleground. I guess they had asked Tony about a certain company booking. And you know what? A lot of people, and I got to give him credit, because when they asked them, really weird that you're going to ask this question anyways, but you're in the media, you're going to ask this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Tony's response I thought was pretty professional. It was like a 180 from some of his other responses he has given. Because I love Tony, but that's sometimes like, Tony, you're running the company. You can't.
Right. You can't say that.
Yeah. What are you doing? But no, very professional, very vague, pulled like almost like a Triple H. We're not going to talk about them, but we're aware of what's going on.
Yeah. He's taking notes. It's good to see.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to spend a little more time on NXT Battleground because we all obviously watched it. I was there. This is what I will say being there. I thought the card was loaded, first and foremost. I've been to 2 Manias. I was at the second TV taping of Dynamite when AEW started, which was hot. I've been to a Hell in a Cell, Night of Champions, Raw. I've been
Double
to
or Nothing.
Double or Nothing with CM Punk and Hangman Page. This NXT crowd was one of the hottest crowds I've seen in a wrestling show. Because, especially by the time the main event comes around, they're usually dead. Boy, oh boy, this crowd was even hotter by the time the show ended.
It came through on the television, too. Like, I was just watching and paying attention, and I was just like, this crowd has not stopped the whole night. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, they picked a very hot, I know Saturday night's main event was pretty hot.
Mhm.
I wonder how Raw's going to be.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to see what happens on Raw.
It was good. It was a great time. Andrew and Matt, who I went with, they don't really watch the NXT product, and they were like, "Wow, I didn't realize that the crowds get that." I go, "Oh yeah."
This is what you're missing, boys. NXT is nothing to scoff at these days.
It's like, you go back and watch the Ring of Honor stuff from like 10 years ago.
Right.
Or the shows. We've been to a couple Ring of Honor shows. Ring of Honor fans, people who love things like NXT and Ring of Honor, I think this is going to rub some people the wrong way. But I think those are that's where a lot of the love and the foundation of the industry lies. Because these people, it could go till 3:00 in the morning and people are losing their minds. It's really good. It's not like you're kind of doing it for TV, but it doesn't really matter.
Right.
You just go out there and put on the best, do the best you can do. NXT more so because it is on CW. They do pay-per-views. Ring of Honor kind of. What is Ring of Honor even playing on? Is it just YouTube, Ethan?
Isn't it just their Honor Plus?
Honor Club, but sometimes they'll do YouTube as well. Like this past Friday, the reason they went to Friday was because Collision was obviously on Thursday. And
yeah.
So, but mostly they do Honor Club, but sometimes they'll do YouTube. But it's mostly Honor Club.
Well, let us kind of. Do we want to skim through this as well, and we'll just kind of talk about the card?
Yeah, might as well.
Ethan, why don't we run this down? Let's do some tweaking right now, live tweaking. Why don't you run down what you just did, and we'll kind of go through the matches after, you've given the results.
Okay, I have 2 Ethan picks on the show.
Nice.
Well, one you both know because me and Scott talk about this.
Yeah.
I should do one was right here for the women's North American title. Still working between Claudia Jordan, 12 minutes 59 seconds, 8 out of 10. I even asked is too late bang. Scott's like never. I'm like, all right, banger gif.
Yep.
The 6-man tag match, the NXT tag champs, the hanky panky connection. There we go. And Josh Riggs defeat. I almost fucked that up, guys. The calling Nico Fans, Sean Spears, and Brooks Jensen 9 minutes and 26 seconds. 6 out of 10, I guess. Stacks defeating Toy Angel 15 minutes and 15 seconds. 7 out of 10. That did not feel like 15 minutes, by the way, in a good way.
Yeah.
Second Ethan pick right here. Women's title line, 7 for Kira Taylor or Jordan Grace. God damn it, Jordan Grace. Why? 16 minutes and 8 seconds. 8 out of 10. NXT title, longest match on the show. All but Fairy defeating Miles Bourne 16 minutes and 50 seconds, or as people jokingly call him, Death Randy Orton.
Oh.
7 out of 10. I thought it was really good. In the main event, which I called, by the way, last week. The TNA World title in the main event, Trick Williams beat Joe Hendry at 15. That was 15 minutes. What the fuck? Anyway, 7 out of 10. And history is made, boys.
Yeah. And perfection. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What a perfect 6-0. I called this right down the button. I love it. I will say, first off, Miles Bourne, career-defining match at Battleground. Yep. I loved every second of it. I knew I think we all knew he wasn't going to win this, but the man had the match of his life, and I loved it. Oba gave him the nod at the end afterwards, and it was just like, this is good. I obviously can only see problems now with Charlie Dempsey because Dempsey thinks he's the leader of the NQCC. So this should be interesting. So I like this going forward, and I hope this leads to good things for Miles. I can easily see him going after the North American title now. I instantly bump him up in the rankings for that title.
Give him a belt.
Yeah. Let him. Well, I wouldn't say that just yet. He needs more consistency. If he's continuing to put on bangers like he did at Battleground, then yes, immediately put him in the title picture.
Right.
For one of the other titles.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at. He looked clean. He looked really good. It was pretty funny when he did the scoop slam? And everyone just started, the arena just screaming RKO.
Yeah.
Because he did it, and then he got up, and everyone's like, is this Randy? Like, this is Randy Orton, right?
Yeah.
Like, it
Yep.
was just very similar.
Little
But
Randy.
regardless, yeah, I think you at least start to, you've planted the seed, and now,
Oh,
like, okay,
absolutely.
let's redirect him to be North American champion, but, like, get him to a position, make those steps to become the number one contender.
Yes.
And then if he's continued that, then yeah, you let him have the belt.
Yep.
And if you're like, it's not really working out, then you have the match and you go through those motions. Miles look good. Oh, dude, I'm watching Oba. Oba is just who
Beefy.
not to knock Miles, but Oba. Who do you give this belt to right now?
I know. Who beats him?
He's just so good.
Yeah.
He just has crowd when it's funny because again, I know enough, and I'm kind of I'm back in the swing of things. You guys have been watching like nonstop. Andrew and Matt knew like nobody on this card, and they were just like they were like just enthralled. They were fascinated.
Nice.
But when Oba's coming out, again, star power. You're like, this guy again could main event Mania.
Mm-hmm.
He has everything about him.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say what. Oh shit! What the fic, Joe? I guess for Albert Femi, he said like over 500 days or something. It says he won the breakout tournament. Almost like Gunther, he's held like 2 titles within that period.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's right. They said it last night. He has been. Yeah, it's been like 530 something days since the breakout tournament, and he's been a champion for 411 or something. That's a better percentage than Gunther. It's insane.
Oof. But Albert Femi, like that's a future world champ, like main roster world champion.
Easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Put him on the main roster so we can have a meat division title.
But
yeah,
I mean, we need somebody. I mean, the new kid from LFG kind of took him out last week. So
Jasper Troy, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see if he might be the next coming, but for now, I don't see anybody taking out the ruler anytime soon.
No. If anyone, I don't even know because Ethan Page has already been champion.
Well, yeah, Ethan Page and Ricky Starks right now are just it's on site and it's hilarious to watch.
you need somebody who hasn't held the belt before to take on Oba.
Yeah.
And I think if you were to do it, maybe Ricky Saints. But I don't know. I feel like those two right now, they're not going to be in NXT too much longer.
No. And that's fine. They don't have to be, they don't have to have long reigns or even be title winners at that, in the main NXT division. They can move right on up. Like look at Julia, perfect example. Like she was champion for what? A couple weeks. Yeah. And then she's on SmackDown. So it's like, all right, that's fine. You don't have to have long reigns. Stephanie wants to be in NXT, so that's why she's still there. And she's leading the charge going into the acquisition of AAA, which obviously we saw during Battleground with the two ladies that she was fighting with in the back before JC Jane came in and dislocated her face. But I mean, well, it's fine. Stephanie doesn't need to go anywhere. It's fine. It's good that, we had so many powerhouses at the top of the women's division. Now 2 of them have moved on to the main roster. You can have a little bit of a reset. I'm still waiting for Zarya to make her giant move forward. She's doing great things with Soruka, our current women's North American champion. But I'm waiting. One of these days, she's going to make a move. And I feel like she's definitely also one of those women who will hold the NXT Women's Championship at some point before she moves up.
I have a name for Oba Femi to lose to. Vacate.
Who?
Vacate.
Oh, geez, not Vacate. No.
Hey, they
did too many titles.
They did to Asuka. They didn't have no one else to beat. So like, all right, just give me the belt.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Page 2 also. She was another one.
Oh, that's right. Oh well, because she had Divas title too, remember? And they're like, you can't hold 2
exactly. You can't hold 2 titles. Yep.
Hypocrites.
Yeah, I don't think I have a bad match on this card. I mean,
if I had to pick one, the 6-man tag.
That's like the weakest of them all, but it was still a pretty, fun. 6-man tag.
It was so funny. So after when Inamura came back and they're all like slapping their bellies, and Victor's like, "Look, they're looking at their bellies," and Corey goes, like, "Is that really where you got this from? Really? The
Yeah.
bellies?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, oh, come on, Vic. How dare you?"
I love how Jordan Grace did everything in her power not to allow the Devil's Kiss to happen. And then once it finally happened, the entire crowd erupts in Booker T chants.
They were.
That was so funny.
So first and foremost, the crowd went crazy for those two women when they came out. Stephanie, it's again, how do I word this? Something when you watch on TV, you always know you're not going to get that. It's going to be muffled in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Stephanie came out, the place lost their minds.
Nice.
Like lost it. And then yes, when she did what Devil's Kiss?
The Devil's Kiss, yeah.
That the first time where she tried to do it, the place was like I hear the kid behind me. I want her to do that to me. I'm just like, dude, I'm gonna go buy a case of water, man. This is.
That's why you said that in the chat. I was like, wait a minute, the whole place must be super thirsty right now. I get it.
Oh yeah, and then like when she finally did, you hear the whole you know, I'm just like, dude.
I love by the way how every time she's about to do it, she points at Booker, and Booker's like, "Oh yeah, ah."
She's again another one has star power, and if she wants to stay in NXT, more power to her. But imagine plant some seeds now because I could just imagine the pageantry. Imagine her and like Rhea in a Mania match for a title.
God,
the battle of the asses.
It would be you know the
oh my
sponsored by
god,
Prime, you know.
Imagine that if they do that match, put Booker. Oh, she's going for it.
That's true. That's true. If she moves up, Booker has to move up with her, or else it's the half
for
of
her
the pageantry is gone.
And then when Rhea does the thigh chokehold, he's gonna be like, no.
I kind of feel bad for Queen Charmel. I'm not gonna lie.
It's why Malcolm interviewed him, I think like a month or so ago now, and he's like, "So how's your wife feel? What are you doing?" He's like, "It's just professional."
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying.
We don't know what the Queen's saying.
I think that's Booker T's like, "Stop it, no."
It has to be very similar. And I said there were some kids behind me, and I want to shout them out because we were talking to them all night, and they did follow us. So guys, thank you for the follow.
Nice.
With the sister from Andrew, I won't get into it. It was funny. I was talking to them. Long story short, yeah, I haven't really watched X, Y, and Z because I've been busy. And he's like, "This is a good time to promote your podcast." And he's like, "You got a wrestling podcast?"
By the way, those kids, that kid, by the way, who said to Stephanie, "I wish it was me." That was
that's fantastic.
Should have been me. The doll Sangler meme.
I even forgot where I was going with that, but yeah,
I was talking. Oh no, yesterday.
So he was talking to his girlfriend. So these kids were, I think they said they were like 27. They were young, and then their girlfriends were younger. Because at one point, and Scott, this is gonna hurt you. They go, "Oh yeah," they thought Oba was like in his 40s. And like, Oba's younger than me. I'm thinking to myself. And they're like, actually, one of the girls goes, "No, he looks more like he's 37." And Andrew and Matt are 36, and they laugh and like,
The funny part is, I love Femi's like my age, like
yeah, he's 27. But the girls behind him were like, "Oh, don't pull us into your age bracket." So they were definitely younger than they were. And I was like, but regardless, they're talking about how Booker responds. The guys were explaining it to her. And they didn't really, and I go, and I had to turn around a couple of times, but this time I was just like, guys, this is about the equivalent to the King back in the day. Look, JR puppies. It's the same thing. It's the same vibe.
It's a 2025.
It really is the same vibe. Yeah, it truly is.
I love how he marks out every time she points out. He's like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Where's the shucky ducky quack quack moment?"
Yep.
Well, we're on Booker a lot, and I think it's very important to talk about the highlight of Booker T from this, this weekend, or this, the show, the main event. And keep in mind, while I was, I'm like fiddling with my phone, trying to make sure I'm getting the right moments too. So I was kind of like watching, and then something would happen, and I TikTok doesn't load fast enough. All videos are on TikTok, by the way, guys. I wasn't posting to anything. So if you want to see anything, follow us on TikTok. But I was like trying to get ready for a good shot, and all of a sudden I see Trick go, and I'm like, he's gonna do it. Like we were all losing. Like, and then he does the spin-a-rooney, and then as that happens, Miles Bourne then does the bookend right after, and Andrew, and Andrew's just, he's kind of like a this kind of guy.
Joe Hendry's same, not Miles Bourne.
And then he said, bookend! Bookend! He was like, scream, like, totally miss. But regardless, dude, incredible. And it was a cool callback there.
Yeah, the callback to the Booker T Rock match.
Yes.
For the WCW title way back in the day. Because when I saw that happen, I'm like, God, that looks familiar. Like I didn't register like completely. And then I looked later and I'm just like, oh my God, that's fantastic. I love that. It also means, that means Trick's better than Booker T because he actually kicked out. But that's beside the point. Anyways.
So regardless, let me explain to you. I did not think, again, we're gonna be saying this for the next like 6 months. I cannot believe we watched. Not only did we see a TNA title on a WWE product, we saw main event a WWE product, and then we saw it change hands on a WWE product
to a non-TNA wrestler.
And the place erupted. Like when pre-show's going on, and they're doing the video package. You could barely see where we were sitting because they had the Jumbotron was still all the way up there, so you couldn't even see that. You couldn't see the far camera of video. But like I'm sitting there and I'm like watching everything, getting situated. And the moment they showed Joe had the loudest reaction.
Yeah, you had said that in our group chat, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, you love to see it.
Yeah, the fact that, and I made a comment, I'm like, man, the TNA fans showed up tonight. Andrew's like, TNA has fans? Because he's thinking TNA from 15, 20 years ago,
Yep,
so
yep.
It was cool. It was just something that was really surreal. And again, I even made the comment. I'm like, I'm actually excited. I'm excited to see a TNA match in WWE. Like, what timeline are we in?
Right, exactly.
So, about that, I love the AJ there in the video package.
Yes, that was great.
When Mike Santana popped up on the screen, did people cheer?
Oh yeah, I didn't note it. You're gonna laugh. Who the hell did I think it was? I did not. When and again, I'm like watching, here's the Jumbotron, and there's like a pylon with a light like blocking it. So I couldn't really make it out. But all of a sudden the place erupted. And I'm like, who's here? And I looked up. If you look at Mike Santana with his glasses on and like from here up, quickly you think it's Bo Dallas.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like looking and I'm like, oh, it's Bo Dallas. That's not what. But wait, he's Uncle Howdy. And it took me like 30 seconds to process. Oh, that's Santana. I was like, what?
Let's fucking go.
I'm glad that people are paying attention. But I know who he is.
What really frustrates me though is because of where TNA is, where Impact is playing. You got to check it out. No, let me check my cable provider. Oh, nobody carries Anthem unless you have like Sling or you have this or you have that.
Yeah.
TNA Plus.
Yeah.
Or TNA Plus. Yeah.
So I'm just like, man, they really need to get on another channel.
Yep.
Because let's think about this. You could be doing some record numbers, consistent numbers for TNA right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like that's like, I'm going to use this as an example. Maybe this isn't the best one. This is like when there was the house show where AJ Styles won, I think, the U.S. title from Kevin Owens. And the only access you kind of had you had to be there, or the video packages that they would show with it.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, we got this cool wrestling event going. We're going to be doing this kind of thing. But it's like, I don't know. What's the one over in Germany?
Wasn't there one that was Gunther and Ilya had a match?
Yep. Yeah, but it was in like that German promotion. That's
WXW.
Which one?
WXW.
Yeah, you'd be like, okay, well, how do I watch that? So I think I don't want to say it hurts TNA. It does give them a lot of exposure, but now they got to be like, okay, we kind of need to like get we need to find easier ways to access our content for people.
Correct.
I was so hyped for that though, but it's the reason I keep saying Satan's winning because in July they're in New York at first anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big show, by the way.
Yep.
But I was so happy he's on TV. I mean, he's the House of Glory champion. He's facing Ishii by next weekend. The
Nice.
first weekend in June. He's the ETU Key to the East champion. That's their world title. It's funny because like when he first came on, like the crowd like kind of it sounded like it went muted from my end. But then when he started talking, he's like, "Oh, okay." They cheered. There we go. Then
Yep.
Tavian Heights like, "I want to face you." I'm like, "All right, this could be a low key banger."
Right?
All right, I see how. And Charlie Deb's like, "You get out of here." I'm like, "No, keep him here."
Charlie's, it's funny because that was like Charlie's like the old way of like how wrestling was with the tribalism, and Tavion's like, no, we cool. Let's fight. Let's have some fun. It's the new way of how
I
things
want
are
the
supposed to go.
standard TNA. I'm like, there you go.
Yeah,
Good.
I made the comment. I'm like, imagine if this just ends like in a classic TNA botch.
Yeah.
And then TNA Anthem announces the purchase of TKO, and be like, "Wait, what?" And then you said Dixie Carter comes out, and like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Oh my god, it's the return of Dixie Carter. It's funny so he's gonna watch the world title match, and I was waiting for him to come out, like and stare, but he never did. And someone posted a picture, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's the White Ranger. He's in some skybox."
Jeez. I think like my favorite part after the show was over was watching all of the NXT, all of the TNA heels just absolutely rip Joe Hendry apart on
Frank,
X.
you dipshit.
It was so great. I'm like, yeah. So obviously, stay tuned this week for probably both NXT and whenever TNA does their next live show. Ooh, it's gonna be good.
And I think
I'm sorry, Sam, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wonder if this is the way because his contract's up this year, right? TNA, I think.
Maybe.
With Joe Hendry, yes, I think so.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is the way they exile him. It's like you've lost our title.
Maybe.
Like, and then that's how we like, I'm a free agent. And then they're like, well, you have an opportunity here in NXT because we value you. And then you could just bring, I don't know. I think that's the way you go about something like that. Especially, I said to Andrew and Matt, and I definitely want to see TNA succeed. But I was like, he is so over. You can't not sign this dude.
Right. Yeah.
You know who's in the crowd there, Sam? Did you see who it was?
The CEO of TNA?
Close, the president. Hi, Ashley.
Yeah, I was the president. Yeah.
Say your visitor.
I know I have a visitor, and I know she has something heavy on my floor. And guess what? The rest of the internet wrestling community is going to find out that we have a project to do after this. Because I'm not editing this out.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi. Yeah, I got the cabinet into the truck, but I can't get it out of the truck. Sorry.
I'm going to make a short on this, and everyone's going to be like, well, why weren't you helping her with the cabinet?
I will admit it. But anyway, yeah, Carlos. I like how Carlos So was there, and then he looked so shocked when and Booker T being inside TNA.
Oh my god, it was hilarious. I was like, oh my god, he's gone full heel commentator. Come on, Trick, you can do it. I was just like, this is great. I love it.
TNA, go.
It's also funny. It's also funny because it's like Booker T's on the other side now because before he was WCW.
Yeah.
So now he's full WWE, and it's like, I don't know if that was on purpose, but I was like, all right, I see it.
So here's the oh wow, I'm sorry. I was looking at TNA World Champions and Trick Williams, they already have Trick Williams on Wikipedia.
Love it.
And he's in was he in the NFL or is he just a big Eagles fan? He has a Eagles jersey.
I think he did play, or at least he was drafted.
I think he watched him. But it's funny. I love how TNA posted a tweet of all the just TNA World Champions.
Yes.
Like Angle, Joe, Sting. Oh, sorry, Samoa Joe. Joe Hendry. Honestly.
They missed the best one though.
Who?
I was gonna say Kenny. They missed Kenny Omega, when he was
true. They didn't put Omega's name.
Yes, he did.
Did they? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Look right after Rich Swann. It should be Rich Swann.
Oh no, I remember. I was just saying I must have missed that when I read that because I saw that tweet you were talking about. So interesting.
And it's funny because they put dipshit Patron on there. The real. And I like it. People are like, "Who's Impact?" They're like, "It was John Morrison because when he's in TNA,
Yeah.
he was Johnny Impact."
Yeah.
But I'm glad they did that though. But it's funny. The wrestling covers. He's like, 2021 Omega won the title. 2025 Trick Wives. Now he needs a TNA guy to win an NXT title.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like I even said it on our pick show. I said there has to be some type of a switch at some point because that's going to open the floodgates. Now it's time for TNA people to start winning NXT titles.
Yeah, imagine the NXT. I don't know how you would do that though. You would really have to make a TNA event accessible. I think that's what I'm kind of getting at because if you were to do that over there, it's easier for you to go to Peacock.
Right.
But now if you do the flip of it,
you could also have it happen on CW if you want to do it that way.
They also do Thriller TV too, right? So
yeah, but that's still another one of those. Like I was looking, like I'd have to pay an extra $50 a month on my cable bill to watch Anthem. I'm like, no thanks. It's not worth it for one channel. Sorry.
You got to make it. Yeah, you got to make it viable. I think that's their biggest struggle right now. And I made a joke. I'm like last night. It's like, well, something about Spike TV. I was just like, oh, that's you can't find it on Spike anymore or something.
No.
So this is the one thing, and I can't figure. I was trying to figure out in my head, and I don't know how you would even do this. Because now we've witnessed the TNA title not just change hands in WWE, but obviously AEW.
Yep.
And the one thing I love slightly more, but I cannot figure out how to make it work here, which I don't think it would, was I will never forget when Rebellion ended and Kenny won the belt. And I don't think anyone had that idea that was even going to happen.
Right.
I think we all thought Kenny was going to lose.
Right.
And then he grabs the belt and him and Don book it into a limo. And they're like, well, what's going on? And they're like, we're going to tell you on Impact on Tuesday.
Yep.
And we were like, what do you mean, Kenny on Impact?
And when he beat Moxley for the title. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
No, when he beat Rich.
Rich
Swann.
Swann.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah. He beat
I was saying because when he beat Moxley, he did the exact same thing. Like
pretty much.
Always did.
Yeah. And I don't know how this would, and maybe that doesn't work in this scenario. I loved how that happened though.
Yeah.
But this one, you need to get Trick on TNA now. You can't just have him. I got the TNA belt. I'm holding it hostage in NXT. You got to send him over. And again, they tape.
Well, I mean, he's been over there. Like he's even shown up at their pay-per-views and stuff. But yeah, this next live taping that they do when Trick comes out, I'm very interested to see how this crowd responds to him.
Are they doing that this week?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Whenever they have their next live taping.
Right. So this week is tapes. I think the next live's not for till summertime. But Vic said he's going to be on NXT this Tuesday.
So, are they I'm assuming they're taping this week before Thursday, though, right?
They did their tapings Saturday. So whoever's airing Thursday is going to be
okay. All right, I guess I'll put that on the calendar. SmackDown, Best of Super Juniors, Double or Nothing, Raw, NXT, Dynamite, TNA. All right, son of a bitch.
Saying you've been hanging out with me too much because you're going to start watching a lot of
right.
But this is the thing that Scott and I talk about when we started this show. We'll go back to the early days of AEW because WWE we watched, and even I was like, dude, this is kind of like a struggle some days.
Yeah.
And then I started watching Ring of Honor, and obviously the big stuff in New Japan, and pretty much Bullet Club. If it was Bullet Club related, that's really what you were watching. No offense to anyone else. And then when AEW came on. Now you got this other option, and then NWA is like, "Oh, we're gonna do Power. We're gonna give you an hour." Yeah. What do you mean there's so many exciting things going on, and the fact that we have all of these tie-ins, and this is kind of somehow again the script is flipped. AEW was doing all of this, and now in the year 2025, the year of our Lord, WWE has acquired AAA. They're working with TNA. I swear that they do stuff with Noah.
Yep.
Marigold.
They're talking about bringing NXT Europe into fruition. And who knows what else? We got Evolve. You got LFG. You got it's hard to not watch.
Yeah.
Next up, NXT Canada, NXT Mexico.
I would be interested to see. I don't know. I feel like Maple Leaf is definitely just they really just want to do their own thing.
And that's great.
You know,
I'm glad that they when Scott Demore brought them back, that now they're pretty much the premier show to watch in Canada again.
Canada needs a premier promotion.
Yep.
They've been relying on WWE too long. Not like a bad way, but it's like Canada again. It was like Canada and Japan were like the breeding grounds.
Yep.
So
in Mexico.
Yeah.
Who the other? Fuck.
I got beat.
Well, the other Canadian promotions have been around, like C4 Wrestling's been around for a while. Like they're on IWTV, but let's be honest, how many eyes are on IWTV? There's Smash Rap. They really do shows once a month because they try to do it like pay-per-views because they do a watch party after.
Mhm.
So if you buy a ticket, you get to watch the show.
Yeah.
And then there's other like, and you got like the indie promotion, but like Maple Leaf's probably, I would say C4 and Maple Leaf are probably like the top two.
Is Stampede Wrestling still a thing?
No.
No? Okay.
Actually,
Did Vince bought that, or did they just close?
I'm gonna look that up now. You two talk for a second. That's right.
All right. Regardless, I think this was a good weekend. This was a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm gonna watch Double or Nothing a little later, but everything I've seen, like Kenny did like a one-winged angel in like a table that exploded or something.
Yeah, they did. I saw the exploding table shot. I'm like, this is what it should have been.
2011, by the way.
My first thought, I was like, this is what should have happened.
2011 was Stampede Wrestling was over.
All right. Well, shit.
but like, also say my friend Ishii and Tanahashi showed up at AEW.
I did see clips of that.
Yeah.
Forbidden Door starting, baby.
When do we got Forbidden Door? That's coming up really soon, right?
Isn't it normally in the summer?
It's in August this year. They're in London.
Okay.
That's a big show again.
I wasn't sure if they switched it around, kind of like
because All In's not because they're not getting All In this year, so that's why Forbidden Door is going to
okay.
O2.
That makes sense.
Yep. I didn't know if they were like flipping it just like Money in the Bank and SummerSlam for 26.
Oh yeah, I think 26. Hold on. When is SummerSlam 26?
I saw the guy. I think we were talking about the guy who like took the count. It's like, oh yeah, they've changed the whole thing now. It's like SummerSlam's in January.
Yeah.
It's like in August. You know,
Rumble's in December.
Yeah.
Oh, so SummerSlam in 26 is August 1st and 2nd, and then Money Bank's at the end of August. So we have technically 3 pick shows next season for August.
Word.
Fuck's sake.
All right. Well, that has been this weekend. Ethan, why don't we start? Let everyone know where they can find you at.
All over the place. Just joking. Twitter's wrestling_fan_9. Obviously ATR for the Japan stuff. Where I just spam the shit out of that Twitter page for Japan stuff. Follow me on boxing.net, Turnbuckle Times, and pwmedia.com, as well as my podcast, the Walk Beats Podcast, every Friday and Sunday. And yeah, ta-da.
And Scott, where can everyone find you at?
Pretty much find me everywhere as Scotty J Stream. Yeah, I mean, we're after this past weekend, we'll see what happens on Raw. We'll see what happens on NXT with Trick. I'm still trying to track down times and dates to get my next episode of Catching a View from Above the Ring, but that will be in the works pretty soon as well. And I think the next time we're going to be doing a live show is in July on the 12th, I believe, or 13th, whenever the 12th. That's right, because the 13th is Evolution for the women, and 12th is the next Saturday Night's main event. So I believe it probably will be just me, because I think Sam will not be. He'll be on assignment during that day. So we look forward to that.
You can find me as This Will Be Official. I also run the X account for Bedlam Media at media_Bedlam. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We also have a Discord. We're on all streaming platforms. And it's funny because when I was talking to the guys behind me last night, I'm like, oh, yeah, we're pretty much on Spotify, YouTube. And like, wow, you're on everything. I go, we are on everything. And if there is something we're not on, let us know. We'll put ourselves on there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review. Tell people why Above the Ring and Bedlam Media is the podcast of your choosing and why they should listen to us as well. Guys, Memorial Day weekend is over, and so is the this weekend's festivities. but wrestling doesn't end. Guys, we're out of time. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, do not forget to join the Bedlam.
Thanks, guys.